Okay, good morning.
Hi, how are you?
Welcome. This is Sarah Merritt at Lifestream Health Center, and I'm so excited to have Miss Brenda here today. She is a registered nurse and a Reiki therapist and a trauma therapist, and has lots of experience in the field of pain management. And she has such a diverse background. I'm just excited for you to tell us a little about yourself and how you work with patients and animals in.
And animals. I have been doing healing since I was 3
Wow.
because my mom's family was Native American, so it's just kind of incorporated
Okay.
into who I am. And I became a nurse. I was a surgical intensive care nurse, so I have all the good stories.
Oh yeah.
And after that, I went into doing legal consulting. So I've worked with malpractice firms, asbestos firms, and it's interesting doing consulting. A really good friend of mine is an oncologist, and her sister is an attorney, and they're two of my best friends. And she said, "Come back to medicine. Come on, it's where you belong." So I left the Midwest and came to Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
and here we are.
Wow.
I see patients all over the world. I love my job. I work 7 days a week because I'm always available. Nothing is worse than if you're sick, you're in pain, and you need a doctor, and you call the exchange. Well, we can get a message to the doctor on call, or you call the office. Well, they can get you in a week from Tuesday. I hurt now. I'm sick now,
Right. Right.
and I try to address that now.
That's amazing. And so you work with patients as a coach and as a Reiki therapist, and
It depends on their need.
it
I
depends on the
deal with a lot of cancer patients,
need. Mm-hmm.
pre-op patients, people with migraines, lots of chronic pain,
Right.
PTSD, anxiety, panic attacks. And the interesting thing is, for the most part, they can all be handled the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure you know this because you're you. But when you're growing up from age 0 to about 10,
Mm-hmm.
and 12, that's when you're given the building blocks to handle stress, anxiety, pain, everything in your world.
Okay.
It's a learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look back on your childhood and see how the grown-ups were dealing with everything, it's going to be very interesting. Did you model those behaviors?
Oh boy. Yeah.
Yeah. And people don't realize that. And it's like, oh my God. But
Yeah. Yeah.
seriously, if you had a family that drank and smoked and were violent and people would get mad and they would storm out and be gone for days, well, in all likelihood, you may follow down that path.
We shouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
If you had a family where nobody talked, you just kept it all in and felt invisible and tried to blend in,
Yes.
you're going to shove all those emotions down that you feel.
Well,
So when you have a child in daycare, 3, 4 years old, they don't have the vocabulary to say, "Excuse me, may we have a dialogue?" They're going to bite, they're going to hit,
yeah.
and you need to stop and think, what's going on at home that they're learning to do this? What are they trying to say?
Yes. And not that
And
we
then
can't maybe learn to do differently, but we're going
it's
to
a
be
learned
taught
behavior. You can unlearn it.
initially, and where do we go with
Exactly.
that? Mm-hmm.
And so once people are made aware of this, then you start unlearning and making the lifestyle modifications. But it's
Wow.
really interesting. So you learn how to deal with pain,
Mhm.
chronic pain, when
Right.
you're little. A lot of families are walk it off, suck it up.
Yes.
Other families are, you don't know pain until you've had my pain. It's a
Yeah.
contest. Who has the worst pain?
Oh, yeah. It's a contest.
It's a contest.
It's a.
There are some people who love being sick and miserable and being in pain,
Mm-hmm.
the attention seekers.
Yeah.
We all think about it. We all know somebody that fits into one of the categories.
Yeah.
And it's just people. But there are ways to deal with your pain. You can have chronic pain, or chronic pain can have you.
Yes.
You have,
And one thing that you said to me early on is chronic pain is not the end of the world. It does not
it's
have to be the
not.
end of the world. Tell me about that. Why is that a mantra that you use?
When you're given a diagnosis, whether it's cancer,
Mm-hmm.
chronic pain, whatever it may be, a lot of people see that as, oh my God, my life is over. I can't ever have fun again. Well, honey, it's about lifestyle modification. You're the same you were 20 minutes ago before they gave you the diagnosis.
Yes.
So it's about managing your life, managing your pain. You taking control of your life. Don't let your diagnosis take control of you.
Yes, I think I'm with it. I think there's a real message of empowerment that patients need to hear and digest and internalize to, take control of a pain situation, even if it feels out of control.
Absolutely. And there's so many things you can do, starting with, believe it or not, diet. You have, and we have pain receptors throughout our body.
Right.
Certain foods will make those overly sensitive. They'll make them moody, and they're going to snap and they're going to snarl. So let's neutralize those pain receptors. Let's stay away from processed foods, bologna, sausage, pepperoni, ham, processed sugars that we all love. Just all things in moderation. Just back off the good stuff.
Right.
Caffeine. I was born drinking coffee. I think 20 minutes after I was born, I probably had my first cup. I was drinking 3 pots of coffee a day. That's a lot of caffeine.
That's a lot of caffeine. Yeah.
Now
a lot of awakeness.
It's
the Q nerves. I can imagine, one's depending what shifts you work, you can get very dysregulated from a sleep perspective. And
I was working 7P to 7A.
Yes.
So that's when you chug the
coffee shift. Yeah.
Now I drink 1 cup in the morning.
Nice.
And it makes a huge difference. So back off caffeine.
Mm-hmm.
Please, if you're a smoker, please stop. Please. Your body runs off of a chemical battery. Your brain operates off of a chemical battery. Your heart runs off of a chemical battery. And we need to keep the system as clean and pure as we can. Mm-hmm. That's why we need to drink water. Until I moved to Arizona, I drank maybe 1 cup of water a day, maybe. I drink 1 gallon now.
Wow.
You have to here.
Yes.
You have to. It's dry.
Hydration. Yeah.
But you have to eat the right things to keep that chemical balance, the electrolytes. We all know, we've heard that term, to keep that balance where it needs to be. You have to drink water to keep that balance where it needs to be. Mm-hmm. All of this will affect how your body manages and handles pain.
Yes. Yeah. And I do think there's it's a message of like self-care, really, right? That not just, a judgmental like, oh, you can't drink this much coffee, you must drink more water. It's really,
it's a lifestyle modification
to care for themselves. I think is such a big is such a big difference maker in what I see.
A big thing is of course attitude, but you need to find something, and this is for anybody with chronic pain, stress, anxiety, just about everybody breathing on this planet. Mm-hmm. We all have triggers, things that just set us off. And once those triggers, once somebody pushes your button, your pain, if you have a chronic pain issue, it's going to flare.
Yes.
You might feel the chest tightness. You might feel your blood pressure starting to go, your neck getting tense. You feel it coming on. Mm-hmm. There are things we can do immediately to neutralize that.
Yes.
Breathe. Because when we start getting anxious and stressed, you get tense, you hold your breath. Let's take some slow, deep breaths. Mm-hmm. Take a couple of sips of water, not coffee, but water. Let's try and start calming down. And I want you to figure out what makes your heart smile. What one thing makes your heart smile. Mm-hmm. Think of your 5 senses. What can you see, smell, touch, hear that makes your heart smile? For me, instantaneous is my fragrance, my cologne. Oh. Everybody's different. So find out, are you scent oriented? Are you a visual person? Mm-hmm. Find that. If it's a picture of your kids, of your family, and you have a beautiful family,
Oh, thank you.
Have that picture on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the picture. It'll start bringing your stresses down. Think of all the happy times. For me, happy place. Okay, life's better. I smell nice. I like this. If you have a pet and you're at home, pet your dog, cat, your raccoon, whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
If it's a song, think of the song. Whatever it takes to start calming yourself down. People that I work with that have panic attacks, I tell them to keep something in their bag, their backpack, their wallet, their purse, whatever, that will help them. If they're in an elevator, you can't really do a guided meditation.
Okay.
But you can smell your fragrance. You can pop in a chocolate or a cinnamon candy. You can look at a picture of your kids. You can hum your song, whatever it's going to take to bring you back down to baseline and start to calm you down.
Yes.
And that works with pain. So my pre-op patients, my cancer patients, my people that are going in for ESI injections that are a little anxious because this can be a little uncomfortable, we do a guided meditation. And it just takes you to your happy place, which may be real or imaginary. It might be your favorite vacation. It might be when you went to grandma's when you were 4. It might be someplace that you have never been, but you long to go to. And we go there. And you're not hypnotized. You are not going to bark like a dog or cluck like a chicken. It's just a relaxed state of mind. And you're there and you're going to experience all 5 senses in this place. You're going to see it. You're going to touch the flowers. You're going to hear the rustle of the leaves or the waves in the ocean. We're going to immerse ourselves in this, and it's going to calm you down. It will calm your pain.
That's great. And so you might work with the patient and establish a routine like this, and initially you might do it with them, and then they may have a ability to do it on their own in a stressful.
I will give them the video because I have a YouTube channel, Brenda Minge Therapist. I have over 100 videos on there, and one of them, I have 2 or 3, they're guided meditations.
Yeah.
I will give them the guided meditation so they can do it at home and listen to it. You can go on the YouTube channel. It's free. Find the guided meditation. Listen to it. It will help you sleep at night. It will calm you down. Kids love it. It works wonders.
I'm going to put this on here, Brenda's YouTube. Yeah, I think that's exciting that you have resources that are out there and ready to use.
And I have to give myself a little plug here.
Yeah.
I have written 8 books.
Oh,
I know. I didn't know if you knew or not. I have 3 that are for adults.
okay.
The first one is I'm Just Me, and these are not long, huge books. This is not a novel. So the first one is I'm Just Me. I wrote most of the stuff probably 30 years ago and finally put it out there. So I'm Just Me, Emotions, Feelings, and Moods. I am very, very proud of that book. We talk about PTSD and moral injury. We talk about some good stuff. And relationships, sink or swim, and about all different kinds of relationships in life. And then for the kids' books, kids are so fragile. And people kind of shove them in a corner sometimes and don't listen to them and assume a lot of things. So the first book is called Sometimes. And everything starts out as sometimes I feel. We are all entitled to feel however we feel. Kids too. If your child is upset and they can't verbalize that, give them a crayon and let them draw a picture. Let them tell you a story. Let them sing you a song about it. I don't care if it's sock puppets. Let them express it. Do not correct them. Say, no, that's not right. This is from their lens. This is their perspective. It's right. So I want to give kids that voice. So there's 5 kids' books that are just, I'm really, really proud of, that will help kids through a lot of different situations.
Yeah, so needed. I mean, I think it's a great point that so often children are just developing the ability to verbalize some of those feelings and experiencing them and working through them for the first time.
And if your child has anger issues, they're entitled to feel however they feel. They're entitled to feel angry. But let's find a way to manage that, to express that safely.
Yes.
And that goes so far as when you're in a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody will tell you, oh, that doesn't hurt. Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
In my body, it hurts right now. Don't let somebody tell you you're not in pain. It doesn't hurt.
that's right.
If you need to take some time, go in the bedroom, go in the bathroom, excuse yourself from wherever you are, sit with your pain for a minute. I want you to understand your pain, understand where it's coming from and what kind of pain it is.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the worst pain you have ever felt in your life? Well, okay, maybe not that bad. Well, is it worse than the time that this or this or this happened?
Mm-hmm.
Analyze it, work with it, figure out where it's coming from and what you can do to make it better.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe just leaving that situation that you were just in made it better. Maybe people around you are making your pain worse.
Right.
It happens. It happens.
Yeah.
But
and we might need to curate our friend group or I guess really establishing just some boundaries, right?
it is. And you have to do that.
Or particular
You're entitled. You have every right to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if somebody, I posted something on social media today, people will say, why do they treat me like this? Sweetheart, why do you let them?
Yes.
And that applies when you're sick. You know, people, my mom had cancer and my dad had really bad pulmonary disease.
Mm-hmm.
And there were people that mistreated them that weren't very pleasant to them.
Yeah.
And I remember my dad saying, Brenda, I don't know what I'm doing. Why are they acting like this? Well, in the first place, sweetheart, it's not you, it's them. It's a them problem. It's not a you problem.
Yeah.
Maybe they're having trouble dealing with your illness.
Yes.
And that's understandable and that's fine, but they can't project that on you. And you have to tell them, if you're going to be around me, you're going to respect me and you're going to treat me kindly. If not, don't come around me. And that's hard when it's family.
That's right.
But when you're given a diagnosis of chronic pain or a chronic illness, honey, your family's given that diagnosis too.
Yes, it affects our whole ecosystem.
It does.
Absolutely.
People don't realize that.
Yes.
So we need to deal with that globally.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Where I will happily sit down with a patient and talk to them. I will also, if they want, I will sit down with the family and talk to the family. Because
I think very often patients actually feel very alone, right? Even though
very much so, absolutely,
it affects everyone, but yet it's very isolating, right? How do we navigate that?
It's all about communication, open, honest dialogue. Casting blame and pointing fingers doesn't do anybody any good.
Mm-hmm.
We all have to accept responsibility for our actions, inactions, attitudes, behaviors, and the consequences. So if you treat somebody crappy, they probably don't want to be around you. Now think about that. Whose fault is that?
Yes.
If they're sick, they're going to be a little more edgy. Things that I know when I was on chemo, things that didn't bother me 6 months before bothered me now. Smells, foods that didn't bother me then bother me now. Mm-hmm. That would offend some people. Well, you used to like it when I made this. Well, that was then. I may like it in the future, but for right now, we can't deal with this.
Yes.
Respect that.
Yeah. Accepting where we are in that moment, I think, for the patient, but then also for if you have caregivers, family
members,
right. That moment of acceptance is a
and
thing.
Self-care, like you were mentioning a minute ago, is so important, not only for the patient, of course, but for caregivers, because it's very, very stressful knowing that somebody you love may be dying, knowing that somebody you love so much is in pain and there's nothing you can do to fix it. Mm-hmm. That's heartbreaking, especially if you're a medical person and it's your family member and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yes.
But there is something you can do about it. You can listen. You can talk to them. Non-judgmentally, just tell me, what are you feeling? I don't want to talk about it. Okay, then we won't talk. Within 5 minutes, they're going to be talking. And just let them talk and let them know it's safe with you.
Yeah.
Whatever they say is okay.
Holding that space to be ready for the talk.
Absolutely.
Even certainly has some value.
And for the end of life, because I do a lot of end of life work, it's really, I see the same patterns over and over. somebody's family member is going to be passing. They know they're passing. They're worried about their family, of course, and the family doesn't want to let them go.
Mm-hmm.
That's understandable. This is your loved one.
Yeah.
But sweetheart, it's not about you. It's about them. So you have to kind of step back. What is best for them? This is their life. This is their ending. Let them go out with dignity and grace and the way they want to go out.
Yes.
And that's hard. That was hard. My mom was on hospice. I'm a nurse.
Right.
Come on, we can do this.
Yeah.
And it was like, we're done.
Yeah. So hard.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true. I think as when we're thrust into that caregiver role, it's going to be different. It's going to be a unique experience. And
It is.
Yeah.
But just know we're all in this together.
Mm-hmm.
Open, honest dialogue, letting people feel whatever they feel, help them work through their pain. If you see that they're in a lot of pain, let's take some deep breaths. Can I rub your back a little bit?
Mm-hmm.
Just soothing, just rubbing somebody's arm in a soothing manner. There's all kinds of very kind little things you can do that will help their pain.
That's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah. I think just showing that bit of kindness can be so meaningful.
A lot can be said for kindness, and it's free.
It's free.
It's free. It's out there. Just be kind. I say that. I do a lot of videos throughout the week.
Yes.
And I'm telling people on a regular basis, be kind. Accept people for who they are, as they are, not who you want them to be.
Mm-hmm.
If your loved one is in chronic pain, if they have a chronic illness, accept them for who they are. Don't push them beyond their limitations. Mm-hmm. It's important. If you do have chronic pain, we've all heard use it or lose it. So it's important to keep mobile as much as you can, to walk, water aerobics, whatever you can do. But don't push them to the point they're in pain or exhausted.
Yeah. Yeah.
Keep boundaries in mind.
And that kind of goes back to maybe that dialogue too. And having that person be in a place of safety with their journey, with their exercise and exertion, to be able to do it.
Absolutely. And once they feel safe, they can start having fun. They can start enjoying life. And that can prolong their life substantially. Absolutely. Somebody happy is going to do so much better than somebody who is depressed and angry and upset, which is why I do a lot of pre-op work. I will do guided meditations with people right before they take them to surgery, to put them in a happy frame of mind, so they go in calm and they come out and do great.
Yes. That's great. Yeah. And just to have that other understanding, to even try to prioritize that versus getting stuck in the challenging places, right? There are tough places. There are
some really tough places, and people with chronic illness, they know that.
Yeah.
My best friend has multiple myeloma. He has had stem cell 11 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He's getting ready, probably in the next 6 months. He'll probably have to go on chemo again, and he's in his 70s.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lot of uncomfortable days. And where a lot of people would just stay home on the sofa, I'm done, it hurts. He walks, he hikes, he takes the dog, and he does all kinds of stuff. Yep. And that's fine, because he has a good outlook. That's what I think has kept him going the last 11 years, because stem cell in somebody that age usually doesn't last that long.
Wow.
But attitude does a lot. You can have chronic pain can have you.
I love it. And, I want to have you back. So I think I want to wrap up here. Absolutely. Of chronic. You can have chronic pain or chronic have you, but I want to do this again, because I'd love to dive into Reiki and other things, and just learn more about all the things that you can share, because I think there's just a ton here.
And what I want you to, before we do a session on Reiki, I want you to FaceTime me.
Okay.
And I'm going to Reiki you, distance Reiki.
Absolutely.
Either you or somebody on your staff, so you can get an unbiased opinion, so that you will be able to see firsthand what's going on.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you so much. This is Sarah Merritt with Lifestream Health with Brenda Minge, registered nurse and Reiki master, and we're so glad to have you here. Please check out her YouTube website. I've included her links here. There is lots of content here on YouTube, many many videos, as well as her LinkedIn, Facebook, etc. Please check in. So thank you so much.
Thank you.